Good evening, Destiny. Thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Honestly, I'm so excited. NBA is back. You know what I'm saying? Brown's about to play. So I'm overly excited. I just had some LBL playing, so you got hyped up. See, so we're about to have some fun on this interview. So it's about to be lit. So tell us who you are and where you from.
My name is Destiny Jackson. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
So what it was like growing up in Indiana and what was the basketball culture there?
For sure. Fort Wayne is like the second biggest city in Indiana. So you got Indianapolis, of course, that are like the big dogs. But like in Fort Wayne, it's basketball everything. Like literally everything is centered around basketball. Like if you're good at it, you're the man, you're the woman. So being in it and the culture that Fort Wayne, I guess its shape has been like a huge impact on like kind of who I am and kind of why I move the way I do. I'm pretty sure people have played there before, probably in the past. They play AAU anywhere in the past like 10 years. Spies Fieldhouse is like super famous. Like that's like my biggest memory of like Fort Wayne basketball, like the Spies Fieldhouses or the North Side high schools where we got people like Keon Brooks that came from and Jalen Butts and all these guys that are doing big things now or have done big things within the city. So the culture has always been crazy and the competition has always been amazing. So it's always been a good solid spot for basketball.
Well, that's what's up. So what was the reason you picked up a basketball?
Oof, that's a good one. To be honest with you, I don't remember. A lot of people ask me that, and I'm just like, I never, I always remember that. Like, I just saw like I started on like a little tykes like basketball hoop, and I just loved it, And
Okay.
ever since then, I've been at it. So,
Okay, that's what's up. So you said like it was like, you either the man or the woman. So when you knew you was like the big dog.
to be honest with you, so everything now, like I'm not that old. I'm a junior in college right now, but
Right.
everything back then was like, even when I was in high school, it was like social media culture. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew I was a woman when like I started getting like highlight tapes.
Okay.
And when I got highlight videos and people see my highlights, they like, yo, you a dog, you. And I'm just like, I've been her. Y'all just didn't see the highlights, like you know what I'm saying. So that's how I knew I was that girl.
I know that's right. But speaking of highlights, do you feel like when it comes to like basketball, it either helps you or hurts you when it comes to actually knowing how to play the sport itself?
Do you mean a highlight sense or just?
I'm just speaking of like when you're actually not when you're actually nice, but when some people that get that, minute highlight and you don't really have the actual fundamentals down and you don't really love the game of basketball, in a sense, does it help the people that actually love this game? You know what I'm saying? Or, can it either help
I
or
think,
hurt some people, because
yeah,
you know how the media can get, you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I think social media and highlights in general are dangerous. In my opinion, I always say watch a full game. Um, but I think to be honest with you, it just depends on what's being used for. So the reason why I was so heavy into like making these highlight videos or getting these highlight videos for myself was because I was striving to get into college. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people out here be like, oh look at this one pass I had, look at this shot. But it's like you may not really be like that for real. You might have just made that, or you might have just made a good pass. You know what I'm saying? So like when it comes to like the lights come on and like people see a whole game, it's kind of like you kind of catfish this a little bit. So for
I've
me,
never heard that.
it's all about intention. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
anybody could look like a star on the highlights, because it's all your highlights. But like, what about the behind the scenes stuff? What about you actually working? What about the consistency piece of it? So when you say help or hinder, I think it all depends on really the intention behind it. It can help you, if you want to go to college, but if you want to use it as a source of acknowledgement, from people around you, it definitely can hinder.
That's what's up. And I agree with you. And speaking of, intention, what makes the best basketball player?
That's a very, very good question. A lot of people from the city ask me that, being in high school and wanting to go into college. I would say really what makes the best basketball player is humility and confidence. And that sounds like
Hmm.
two opposites, but understanding that you don't know everything, but also being confident enough to do what you do know all the time at a very high level. I think that's what makes the best basketball players.
And speaking of, not always knowing something when it comes to basketball, how important it is to always study the game of basketball.
It's so like I am 21 years old. I'm a junior at Loyola and I'm playing for my third year of college basketball. And it's so much that I thought I knew coming in as a freshman. It's so much I thought I knew as a senior in high school. And I learned more and more every day. And people say like, oh, ball is life. I never really knew what that meant until I got to college. It's like, yeah, it takes up a lot of my time, but like everything you learn and the lessons you take from it, the long term ones, it really does truly translate over into life. So when it comes to studying it, it's so many small pieces and small details that you could take to change somebody's game completely. And the more you put in, the thing I love about basketball is like the more you put into it, the more you get out. So it's not just like watch film. I'm watching film with intention. Am I watching how this girl she shifts her hips and she bursts out right, but when she shifts and goes left, she can't do the same burst that she did going right.
Hmm.
It's like those little meticulous things. And I think like how to read a screen. Sometimes you may want to hedge, or maybe you want a low level, or maybe you want to call a complete switch. Like seeing these different things and how it impacts the game in every way, and like seeing different teams and different people playing with different rotations, like it literally never stops. There's something you could LeBron James learns right now as we're speaking. He can learn something today about basketball, and he's been playing it more than half of his life. So it's so interesting because like I said, it really is like life. Like you learn something new every day, and it don't matter how much you know, somebody's been here before you and they may know it and you may not, and that's okay, but continuing to stick with the process is so much to learn.
Absolutely. I'd be like, who is that? Like he played. I'm like, oh, let me write this down. Let me go figure out how I can learn and no more knowledge from this player. And I'm like, oh my God, like who is this person? So I understand about basketball as life because there's so many players I don't even know. When that top 75 list came out, I was like, who is
Who are these
Paca?
people, you know?
Who are
Yeah.
these people? But back to you. What is your best high school basketball moment?
Oh, ooh, that's a good question. um so in Fort Wayne, oh man, this one's funny. So in Fort Wayne, I played for high school for 3 years, called Northrop High School. And I transferred my senior year to Snyder High School. So
Mhm.
Northrop and Snyder and Fort Wayne are rivals. And
Wow, how dare you?
when I transferred to the rival team, when we played Northrop, I think I had the best scoring game I've ever had in my life. I think I had like 30 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
And
is
I'm
crazy.
more
Did
for
you do
like,
it in that? Did you do that your last year?
yes, that was my senior year. That's how I went out. And
You
we
went out
played
with a
them
bang for sure.
played them
Wow.
the first game of like postseason. We played them like when it's like, win or go home, and we sent them home. So
Wow, I know they were big.
yeah,
That must
so
have felt so good though, huh?
it wasn't even like I'm gonna get my get back. It's just like
I'm
this
talking
could
about
have
for
been us,
yourself,
y'all.
just as
Yeah,
like
it was like
scoring wise.
this could have been us, y'all. Like I ain't have to leave. Like we could have did this together. Like, so yeah.
That's what's up. What is one thing that you took from, you know, playing AAU, playing in high school, and then picking a college and your freshman year? What is something that you learned from all of those years and bringing it into your freshman year in college?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say you learn a lot when you actually get there and you don't realize that you know as much as you do when you come in. Like sometimes people go in like, "Oh, I'm blind," but like I think the biggest thing I learned is basketball stays the same. The only thing that changes are the people. So like people say
Hmm.
like don't hate the player, hate the game. The game is the same. Like basketball is basketball regardless. What changes is the pace. What changes is the athleticism. What changes is the speed of the game. What changes is the how tall everybody is. That's the only thing that changes. So I guess I would say that like going in, I knew that, and I didn't like know it, but I knew like that regardless of where you go, basketball is always going to be basketball. It's going to be some places it may be faster, Some places it may be more fundamental. Some places it may be more athleticism. But basketball is always basketball, and the goal is to put the hoop in the basket more times than the other team, and to
Hmm.
stop the other team from putting the hoop in the basket.
So I hear all this great stuff. Has there been any time that has been any tough moments for you?
Absolutely. Just being in college in general, I think a lot of things that we do if we don't have certain supports or certain sources of guidance throughout processes, it makes it harder. So I think going into college, I wouldn't say I wasn't like fully prepared, but I think if I could go back, like, being in high school, like I probably would have listened a little bit more. I probably would have been around basketball a little bit more because I
Don't
think,
we all?
man, the transition kind of it was a culture shock for sure. Just not only with the basketball, just with everything in a sense. And I think the toughest moment in my life has been like the transition for sure. Just not only like being an adult and handling things off the floor when it comes to like you have all the freedom you want now. You make your own decisions to, being the best player on my team to being a freshman in college and all these girls. And then you have the COVID year. So I'm playing against girls and with girls that are 23 and 24 years old and I'm 18. So like it's things like that that you don't I'm not saying I don't think there's like it's good to say like, oh, nothing can prepare you for that, but until you go through it, you don't really understand what you may need until it's too late. So I would say like those were the tough moments, the transition in the sense of like I kind of came in not thinking like I was hurt, but I was like I got a little confidence. I'm here, and I got humbled. I it's
Reality
girl.
check.
Yeah, I got humbled because these people I was playing with though, like really, they've been playing years longer than me. They know
Hmm.
these sets. They know how to set things up. They know the pace of the game. They know just the little meticulous things that I was talking about, So I think that's been the toughest thing for me, the transition. And it gets easier, but I had to go through to get through. So
That's a fact.
mm,
What I've experienced, interviewing, college women players, we always speak about how important coaching is and how important it is to have them on the court, but also off the court. So for you, how important it is for you to have a coaching staff, not only on the court, but also in that locker room.
that's huge. My coaching staff, I would say like right now, definitely one of the best coaching staffs I've ever had. We go over things. I think it's different at a lot of colleges. I think some colleges may not be blessed with, what I have here. We have coaches that care about the person much
Mm,
more than they care about the team. A lot of conversations when it comes to coaches, if it's not in practice or it's not like in their like offices, it's about like how's life? Like, how you doing? And I think little stuff like that is huge. But one thing about like our staff now is we are kind of put in a space where they strive to put us in the best positions to succeed, not only as student athletes, but as like humans just in general. So even if the little
that's what's up.
checkups or the hey, like one of my coaches, we have a Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. So every Tuesday we go to a taco place like down the street and we just get tacos every Tuesday and we just talk. It has nothing to do with basketball, it has everything to do with how you doing in life. If you want to talk about class, let's talk about class. But those little things that you have kind of stay with you even when you leave.
And how does that relationship help you on the court?
100%. It makes you want to run through a wall for this person or for this group of people. I know these girls on my team love me. I know my
Hmm.
coaching staff loves me. So when I get out here, it's bigger. It's bigger than me. It's not just, oh well, I want to score because I want to score. I want to get a stop because I want to get a stop. No, I want to score because they put they instilled all this confidence in me that I can. I want to get a stop because yeah, like I want to win and I don't want them to score, but I want to get a stop because they thought it was okay to check on me when I was having a bad day or I was having a bad practice, and they pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, we ain't gonna practice. Let's talk about it." So it's just those little things. Like now, I want to run through a wall for you, and I think that's the biggest thing because as athletes, but I think as coaches as well, like you kind of sometimes you can neglect the relationship piece. but the relationship piece is really the biggest piece in order to kind of get buy-in, not only, on the teaching side, but also as a player. Like, I want you to know who I am, you know what I'm saying? And I want you to see me and see my value past what I can do for you on the floor, because at the end of the day, we're all.
That's right. And speaking of running through a wall, if you could describe your game in one word, what would it be?
Ooh, one word.
Yes, give it to me now.
I'll just say versatile. I think I'm whatever you
Mm,
need. I'm
I know
not
that's
I'm
right.
Yeah, my teammates have really been lately comparing me to Draymond Green. Not like dirty, but like not but like more
She
so
made
like,
that clear real quick.
yeah, like big guard, little post, but like if you
That's
need
what's
a
up.
rebound, I got you. If you need an assist, I'm here. If
Every
you need to
team needs
stop,
a Draymond,
I'll
though.
stop
I
something.
tell
If
you
you need a
that.
charge, I'll sacrifice my body. It's just like I'm like a garbage player. Like I might get like 4 points, but I also got like 6 boards and I got a few assists in there too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just everywhere. I would just say versatile.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay, I like that. Every team needs a Draymond, though. Going into the season, what are some personal goals, but also what are some team goals?
For sure. We just moved conferences 2 years ago, so we're now in the Atlantic 10 conference.
Okay.
This is our second year in the Atlantic 10 conference. Some goals for us straight up, like, we want to win it.
I know that's
Like,
right.
we
Straight
we
off
had
the
a hard
bat.
we had a hard transition with we were in the MVC
Okay.
past however many years, but we had a hard transition going from the MVC to the Atlantic 10. So what we want to do definitely is, of course, win the A10, but improve non-conference as well. I think we had 4 non-conference wins last year. So what we want to do now is definitely use those non-conference games to actually prepare for conference and win more than four.
I know that's
So
right.
and for me personally, I would say uh snatch some old boards. I think I look for the little stuff, and I think right now with specific things we've been working on is like offensive rebounding. Kind of opens up my game. I'm not much I'm not saying I'm not like dominant. If I could score, then I could score, but I think a lot of my buckets come off of transition
Okay.
uh and offensive rebounds. So for me, snatching some more offensive rebounds, because not only does that create another possession for us, but it also gives me another opportunity to score if that's, something I want to do. So my goal all summer, all preseason has been increasing our rebounding average as a team, but like me doing it personally so it can contribute to the team.
Okay. Now we're gonna get into some fun questions. If you were the person to have the last shot, would you do it on the offensive end or the defensive end?
I was the person that had the last shot.
Well, not the last shot, last possession, excuse me.
Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say defensive end. I have a lot of confidence in my defense, and I think I can stop someone. So,
Okay.
and if not, then I just foul you.
I know that.
You gotta make them free throws. Like if I think you got me beat,
And you know how them get under pressure. Okay. Top three basketball movies.
ooh, that's a good one. I don't want to be basic because it's everybody else's, but Love and Basketball is number one. Sorry,
It's okay. It's
I
not
love
mine,
Love.
so it's fine.
I would say number two is Coach Carter, but it's a close one. It's a close one. And I would say, to be honest, number three, mm, mm,
Let's
I'm probably
see.
gonna slander for this one, but like Mike, the one with Bow Wow,
Oh, I know exactly.
I thought that was so funny, and I don't want to get no slander because of that, but like I probably am, but that's my top three. Love and Basketball.
Sorry, it's gonna have to be a snippet because I heard nobody say like Mike.
I love like Mike. I think it's so funny, like, and he's so like he's just so innocent. It's just I just love that movie.
Okay. Okay, that one was funny. It's supposed to make train of thought there. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it. Okay. See, now we're just gonna have to jump back to a generic one. How do you prepare for a game? Is there a playlist or meditation, because now I got to get back on track because that like mic threw me all the way off.
Nah, this one's funny. So I have a favorite song. It's Mary J. Blige, "Just Fine," and
Wow, my mom
I
loves Mary.
that's my favorite song of all
Just
time.
fine,
So I listen to that
wow.
every single like game day. Normally when I'm like tying my shoes up, that's the only thing I have to make sure I do. When as I'm tying my shoes up, I'm bumping Mary J.
That gets you hype?
That gives me, hey, 'cause regardless of what happened, when we get out here, we're gonna be just fine. We've been doing
Oh,
scout all week. We've been working all week. We're gonna be just
so
fine.
you're gonna be just fine. All right. And if you had 24 hours to work out with anyone, NBA, WNBA, old coach, old players, who would it be?
Ooh, that's interesting. I think the basketball, like anybody would say Michael Jordan.
You're the
Like I would,
first person to say MJ.
really.
I got Darius Garland. I got Giannis.
Wow.
No one said MJ, so you got MJ.
It's the mentality piece of it. Like
I got
you could
Cole,
teach,
but
yeah, you could teach, and even Kobe, like you could teach skill, but like the mentality, that's a little harder. So like even if it was like a workout, okay, cool, but like the mental aspect of it, how does that look?
okay. You know already know who I'm picking, so you don't even gotta ask me. And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That is a good question. Well, I'm getting my degree right now, advocacy for social change with an English
Ooh,
sociology minor. So
period.
one of my goals for sure, just graduating college, I want to get my teaching certificate, and I actually want to teach high school. So in five
Good luck.
years, I would see myself, thank you.
Good luck.
I would see myself as a high school teacher and also coaching for that school's girls basketball team.
That is what's up. Well, thank you, Destiny. Thank you for coming and sharing your basketball journey with me. It was fire. I will hope that I can come out, see you at a game somehow, see your skills on the basketball court. So please definitely send me your schedule. I would love to see you come play, and I wish you all the success this year and good luck to you and your squad. And thank you again.
Thank you so much. You have a good one.
Thank you. You as well.